Somebody's boat. Okay, well, the boat is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Oh, we're back at the mayor's house. Is this the mayor's boat? Mr. Mayor? Is this your boat, Mr. Mayor? I need to get up top, Mr. Mayor. Wow. Now I can go on his property. Remember earlier when he had a hissy fit and I was forced to wash it out here from the other side of the gate like some sort of heathen? I don't like this mayor. Mayor, kiss my ass. Welcome back, everybody, to Power Wash Simulator. I'm tired today. Like, I'm physically tired, but I'm also just mentally drained and exhausted. I have had a week, let me tell you. Oh, I'm going to tell you all about it, because that's why we're here. Listen to me talk. Kitty cat! Well, we know the cat's been up here. Papa, what on earth is going on in Buckingham? I don't know. What is going on in Buckingham? You tell me. A town with no cats. I don't remember what all we've talked about because the past handful of months, the way I've been doing my stuff, I've been playing multiple games at once, and conversations bleed over from one playthrough to another, which isn't great, I know. We've talked about a great deal of stuff so far in this playthrough. We've gotten personal. We've gotten personal. We've talked about various things out in the world. But boy, have I had a hell of a week. So we live in scary times. We really do. I'm not going to talk about it at length. I'm not going to get into politics or world news or anything that's really happening out there. I'm going to keep this as light as possible, but I have a lot of things to go over today, and it's really important that we cover this stuff. Over the years on my YouTube channel and on my Twitch channel, I've talked about a wide variety of things, personal things about my life, about myself, my personality. I've talked about mental health. I've talked about the various medications I take, my weight loss journey, my problem with food. I've talked about my friends, my family, my work history, my school history. I've talked openly and publicly just about every single aspect of my life, and a lot of that is because I don't really have too much of a filter, but I also don't really have anything to hide. I don't really go anywhere or do anything. I'm not a secret agent. I don't work an exciting job with stories to tell. So at the end of the day, when I come on and just kind of wax philosophical or open up about myself, it's honestly because there really isn't much else to talk about. You know, it is what it is. Um, but there is now a growing concern that I have. Now that I'm in my 40s, I've gotten the sense that like the time has passed for my relevance in the world. Advertisers are not going to care as much about me. Decisions aren't going to usually be left up to me anymore out in the world. You know, I think your 30s is kind of the window where you are like the de facto go-to members of society. I think most people in their 30s are the it people who make all the decisions. You know, I pulled back. I've decided to really focus on myself and kind of live in a more of a bubble than I ever have, because the outside world is scary and kind of garbage right now. But they keep pushing and pushing. Instagram is on my last nerve right now. They keep showing me pornography. And I don't know why they're showing that to me in ads. That's not why I go to Instagram. It's not what I want to see on Instagram. And I've tried everything to reset my algorithm. I've tried everything to get rid of those ads. I ended up having to install the DuckDuckGo browser on my phone, which has a lot of like tracker blocking um, technique stuff, software, whatever you want to call it. It seems to be helping. But I've never really thought too much about the whole privacy issue on the internet. I mean, yeah, it's just kind of a given that we all use screen names and stuff, usernames and stuff. You never really think too deeply about the anonymity on the internet, especially given the fact that like I'm a public figure. I'm an online persona. I've done this for so long using Facecam. You know, I've doxed myself in blogs. It's not going to take a super team of scientists to know where I live if they look through the vlogs. But now this Discord issue that's come up and the Instagram stuff has really kind of opened my eyes to it, because I've been arguing with people. You know, I've been arguing with Tyler and arguing in the Discord. And it's like, my opinion is that anonymity is dead. There's no such thing as the middle of nowhere anymore. There's a fucking buoy at Point Nemo, for Christ's sakes, that reports back, you know, data to scientists. So like, there's not really a middle of nowhere anymore. And phishing scams are out of control. People are out of control. I recently learned that you'll get those phone calls we all get where you answer and say hello and then nobody picks up. Nobody says anything. It's a phishing scam. They're trying to get your voice, your biometrics, and they're going to use that to open bank accounts and get money off your name. What do you do with people like me who have spoken in YouTube videos for 9 years? They could just crop that shit together and do it anyway. AI has become a huge issue. People could just deep fake now. But Discord is in the hot seat right now because they're going to introduce a teenage by default. They're going to assume all users, period, are teenagers, and you have to unlock your features by face scans or giving them your ID, your driver's license, or whatever, and everybody's against it. And again, I get it. Discord keeps getting breached and they keep having all their user data stolen by hackers, so people are not exactly in a hurry to trust Discord. You know what I mean? But these are the same people who will openly post every single aspect of their existence to Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everywhere else on the internet, vlogs on YouTube with their children's faces unblurred. You know, it's a fine line, in my opinion. You know, it's like, well, you're offering up so much of yourself anyway online. Why are you gonna cherry pick, you know, Discord wanting to confirm your identity? Because in a vacuum, it sounds good. Oh, you know, protect the children and so forth and so on. Yes, that's great. And if we can come up with systems that do that, that's great. Problem is, there's ways to go about it, and apparently, according to everybody, this is not the way to go about it. People are pissed. I've never given a company my information outside of Google. I know I've had to upload my driver's license to Google before, but it's Google. I feel like they have my license whether I give it to them or not. You know what I mean? We live in a scary world. With all that being said, I talked about how I made a new Facebook account, even though I hate Facebook with a passion. I don't like Mark Zuckerberg. I don't trust Mark Zuckerberg. I don't trust Meta. I don't like Meta. But I figured it was a good way to stay connected. You know, I'd made some new friends or acquaintances, or however you want to look at it, when I went up to Tennessee back in January for Tyler's big 40th birthday party that Tiff put together, you know. And I met a lot of their friends I haven't met before, and I wanted to, you know, stay connected with them online. And Facebook seemed to be the way to go. And of course, I set my Facebook to private, and I was only adding people I knew IRL, you know. Smart, you know. Keeping it simple, keeping it smart. My Facebook wasn't meant to be part of my YouTube or advertise my YouTube or any of that stuff. Two completely different reasons for being online. Well, it was going well for a couple of weeks. Family members started adding me. Family that I haven't seen in a while. My dad added me. My mom added me. Now, I've had a history with not liking my mom following me on Facebook. She posts some unhinged shit. My mom is a classic boomer through and through. She's kind of technologically illiterate. She doesn't understand how to use her phone in the simplest of ways. She's gullible. I mean, I'm gullible too. That's where I get it from, I think. But where I took the time to educate myself and train myself how to not be so gullible in a world full of technology, she's the opposite. She will believe any dumb fucking thing you tell her. And she's a right-wing conservative Christian. I know. Bleh. But the shit that she posts on Facebook is just disgusting. Really disgusting. And it breaks my heart, you know. And it's not just her at the end of the day, you know. I see my relatives posting, you know, anti-LGBTQ stuff, and I think that's what gets me more than anything else. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, it makes you feel some sort of way to see your mother posting stuff about how evil you are and how you're going to hell, and it's your own mother. So that can be emotionally taxing, and it's not a good look for her. What the hell? It's not a good look for her because I don't know who all knows. You know, I don't know who all knows I'm gay, but I know that there's at least an uncle that knows. He flat out asked me one day in Walmart when I ran into him, not in a offensive way, but it was a conversation that was had, and I'm pretty sure he went back and told as many people as he could. So I think most of the family kind of either knows or has an inkling, but she doesn't know. And if she may have an inkling, or she may suspect, or she may not, she may be completely ignorant. I don't know. I don't think she knows. I don't think she suspects. And I've never had that conversation with my parents. I've never had that conversation with my mother specifically either. My sister knows. I've told her. But I've never been in a hurry to tell my parents. And I'm out publicly to the world. I don't hide the fact. I've just never had that conversation with my mother or father directly. And I don't know that I ever will, given their political beliefs, religious beliefs. It's not great at the end of the day. But I deleted that Facebook quick yesterday because I had seen one post too many, you know, and I can't keep doing that to myself. It made me sick. Like I had myself a good cry yesterday morning when I woke up to those posts, and I'm just not going to do that to myself anymore. And you might say, well, why don't you just block her? You don't have to have her on your friends list, yada yada. I understand, but it's not just her. The amount of bullshit I see on there is annoying. The amount of misinformation, pseudoscience, people. My mother sent me a text the other day with a Facebook link from some jackass talking about how you could. Here's how to disable 5G on your phone because it's so heavy on your health. And I'm just like, motherfucking god damn it. Jesus Christ. All the others. 5G is harmless to you, you dumbass fuckers. So, oh my, we have failed as a society, especially here in America. Everybody's so goddamn fucking stupid. So goddamn fucking stupid. Jesus. But, I'm now that these ICE raids are happening and they're just flat out killing American citizens, and nobody's like doing anything to actively stop it because the current administration is the worst one we've ever had in the history of the country. Like the world's on fire. So much bullshit's happening, and it's terrifying. I had to stop reading regular news, and I had to curate my social media so that I only saw gaming news, and that's the way I've been living my life now since about mid 2025. I've slowly been like getting rid of all the stuff that I just can't handle anymore. But that was my mistake. I should have known better than to try Facebook, And you can toggle political content and turn it off on, Instagram threads, on all meta platforms. If you go in your settings, there's a political toggle, but that doesn't stop individuals from posting nasty stuff or dumb shit. And I'm exhausted. And I've been talking about how exhausted I am now for years, but it doesn't fucking stop. It doesn't fucking stop at the end of the day. This shit really kicked off in 2016, and it hasn't fucking stopped since. And it's 2026. It's been a decade of fuck shit. Guys, I'm tired. I'm in my 40s now. And I feel like fighting for social justice is a young man's game. I don't have the best health in the world. I'm not out here running marathons. I didn't take good care of myself. I'm trying now, but it's not going well. And protecting my mentals is very hard. And I don't want to be somebody who just hides in a hole in the ground. I don't want to be that guy that's just ignorant to everything that's going on. I don't want to do that. I really don't. I think it's irresponsible. But like, goddamn, like I can't wake up every day to hear about what that jackass has done next, I can't handle it anymore. It's and it's the depression of just knowing just how like we don't teach critical thought or critical thinking to young people in schools. We don't teach young people how to think for themselves. We really teach everybody how to be sheep. That's really what they wanted at the end of the day, I think. They want you to just go to school, shut up, pay your taxes, and work till you're dead. I honestly think that's what the goal has always been for society. I really, really do. I think I got the whole base of this. But I'm the past few days have kind of been rough because it didn't just stop with Facebook's fuck shit. I'm seeing now on Instagram a lot of MAGA people are attacking any and every account on Instagram that has a pride flag or a trans flag or anything like that. I saw one right before I went live where they were like, "We found another one," and it's terrifying because you're just radicalizing a whole lot of young people to be violent, to get guns, and to go out and commit domestic terrorism. And I I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if there's anything we can do. But hello, Lewis is here in chat. Lewis is good people. I was just talking to Lewis yesterday about some of this, and Lewis made a pretty good point. When I was talking to him, he was like, "Don't let it get to you." It's hard though. It's hard when it's everywhere. And it's scary. And it's what they want at the end of the day is they want you to be scared. You have to worry about going to pride events now. Is some lunatic going to shoot it up? Scary out there, man. But I'm trying my best to focus on myself and be happy and live my best life. Um, but at the end of the day, it does take a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy just because of how much fuck shit is out there and how much fuck shit is happening. This morning was a good example. I was watching some videos on YouTube about Pokemon Day, which is the 27th, and this is being streamed on Twitch today, this afternoon, on the 12th of February. And the 27th is Pokemon Day. It's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, so we're expecting some big news. We're expecting some classics collections. We're expecting some of the retro games to come back. We're expecting a lot of good stuff. Maybe Fire Red and Leaf Green are going to come back. So, Pokopia's coming. There's a lot of good stuff to look forward to this month. There's a lot of good stuff to look forward to in gaming, my main hobby. I've been reading more. I've been on days and going to bed at night like a proper adult. I'm eating better. I'm generally doing so much better than I was just a few months ago, than I was just a few years ago. Like, I'm in the stratosphere of doing better. But social media, social fucking media. Uh-oh. Okay. But if you've ever heard the term chosen family, there's a reason for it. So, you know, we can't choose our family, but we can choose our friends and what have you. Ping, ping. Ooh, look at the dirt. It's like hidden down beside it. I can't really get, or is it? Is that dirt or is that just lighting? I think it's dirt. I can't really tell. Oh, wait, are these metal pieces dirty too? Let's see. They are. Okay. react to the Pokemon do anything special for the Pokemon anniversary. Yeah, actually, I am going to stream that, and I'm going to keep it. I'm not deleting it this time. I feel like this one is special. It's important. We're going to stream the hell out of it. As far as will I do anything special for the Pokemon's 30th anniversary? Yes and no. Um, honestly, I'm waiting to see what gets announced to see what we're going to be doing next because we've played every Pokemon mainline series game except for Sun and Moon. That one we were saving until summer or later before we got into the Sun and Moon era. But we've played every other era, and now we're working on Pokemon Silver at the moment, which is the last retro game on my list. Because, honestly, I'm not going to play every Pokemon game. We played Blue. I'm not going to play Red. We played Leaf Green. I have no intentions of playing Fire Red. I'm playing Silver, but I have no intentions of playing Gold. Like I don't want to do the companion game for every game. You know what I mean? But I have already done Leaf Green on my channel. So if they announce a Leaf Green and Fire Red thing for the Switch, then maybe we will do Fire Red. I don't know. I know on the Patreon side of things, we did Pokemon Red Plus Plus, which was a ROM hack done very well. You went back to play the original Pokemon Red, but they added so much to it. So many of the quality of life upgrades that have been made over the years was added to that, and it was really nice. Um, but I going back to what I was saying earlier, I don't want to ruin my progress that I've made with my mental health by letting bullshit get in the way. So I'm not going to. I'm not gonna do that, I'm not gonna do that. I definitely think that if it weren't for my friends, if it weren't for Lewis and Tyler constantly being in my corner and constantly letting me talk to them about the woes and worries of my life, I don't think if I had my buddies in my corner, it would be really tough. You know, it would be really tough. They've been a great, enormous help in my hours of darkness and need. I know that I've always got people I can chat with, and I'm not going to waste any more of my time on terrible people, terrible human beings. You know what I mean? I work too hard to get my happiness back, and I don't want to lose that happiness to worry and dread. So I'm going to protect my happiness by just you know, not interacting with assholes, not interacting with trash. Trash has become my new code word, by the way. I found a lovely Instagram account that I followed. They make a lot of graphics and stuff. And I posted it on my community tab on YouTube, and I posted it on Threads, and I posted it in the Discord. And I'll put a picture of it up here. So from now on, when I say trash, it'll be kind of our way, you know, of knowing what I'm actually talking about. Hmm. Ah. If they show us anything about Gen 10, I'll scream like a fanboy. Well, you get ready to scream because it's coming. They're going to show us Gen 10. We're going to see Gen 10. Ooh, it's a coming, it's coming, it's a coming. I'm so excited. Okay, there we go. Oh. Well, hold up now. Hold up. I bet I have to get down pretty low for this. Yep. There was dirt on the bottom where we couldn't see her. Yeah, look at that. Absolute filth. But yeah, I'm choosing happiness. I'm choosing to be a good, decent person. I couldn't imagine, like, I would be so embarrassed if I was spreading like hate on the internet, if I was spreading misinformation on the internet. It's one thing if I tell you chickens can secretly produce, I don't know, plutonium in a lab. They're that smart. That kind of nonsense is so cartoony that would anybody take me serious? I highly doubt it. But when you get on there and you're telling people, oh, 5G is going to give you cancer, you need to ditch this your cell phone and blah blah. No, that's harmful to society, and you should get in trouble for that. Honestly, you should really get in trouble for that. Spreading that kind of bullshit, you should get in trouble for that. But that's fundamentally why I can't handle Facebook and I can't deal with Facebook. It's the same reason I can't handle TikTok or deal with TikTok. It's the amount of like misinformation and people talking out, really loud with their chest without having the faintest idea of what they're actually fucking talking about. It grinds my gears and it gives me so much stress that I'm not going to be on TikTok. I'm not going to be on Facebook. I'm not going to be on any of those bullshit platforms to where that's prominently the majority of the content of the people just being fucking stupid. I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I mean, I don't do it on my YouTube channel. I don't come on here and feed you a bunch of pseudoscience conspiracy theory bullshit. I respect your intelligence too much for that. Well, that and it's wrong, and I just. But Discord ID is real. Yeah. Oh, did I turn my cam back off? Yeah, it looks like the Discord ID thing is real. So we may either have to jump ship and choose another platform or suck it up and give Discord our ID, which apparently a lot of people are upset as spaghetti about. Um, According to what I saw and what I read, the big issue with the Discord ID thing is the fact that Discord keeps having their servers breached. So user data keeps getting hacked and leaked. So if you were to like say scan your driver's license and give that to Discord, inevitably their servers are going to be hacked and your ID is going to be floating out there in the ether to with who God knows who and God knows where. My argument is not defending Discord. It's not defending giving your ID to people like that. My argument is your ID is already out there, whether you realize it or not. But I guess the argument people have against me saying that is, well, you don't make it easy for them. Don't just give it willingly. I don't know. Again, we live in an era where anonymity is dead, privacy is dead. There is an expectation of privacy, I think, in society, but I don't think that that's being met anymore. I think that has kind of gone away. Um, like let's say you're on a public beach somewhere down in Florida. Um, Obviously, you're entitled to not have some wackadoo run up and put a camera in your face and get all up in your business, but at the same time, you can't stop somebody from taking a broad picture of the whole beach and you being in that picture. They're allowed to do that. So, what do you do when you're in public? There's really no kind of expectation of privacy there when you're in public like that. But at the same time, um, again, if I just walked up to you, put a camera in your face, that would be considered a no-no. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how this situation is going to play out. We've been using Discord for years and years and years now as our kind of main go-to gamers. That is, when I say we, I mean like gamers. Discord has kind of been our main communication tool. Um, so it's going to be, I don't know. I kind of feel it's going to be the Twitter situation all over again, where it falls and everybody has to jump ship and nobody can really agree on which platform to use. Because, like, when Twitter fell, some people went to Threads, some people went to Mastodon, and some people went to Blue Sky. But nobody could agree on which platform should be the new main platform. So everybody ended up splintered and off doing their own thing. And I think the same thing is going to happen with Discord. I think we're all going to end up splintered, running off in our own directions. If Discord does fall in that way, we're never going to get all of our friends to be back in one place again at the same time. Everybody is either going to just stop using a communication tool like that, or they're going to use one that you're not on, and vice versa. And it's it's a mess. It's a real mess. It's a real mess. But at the end of the day, I guess I'm not super worried about it. Let the chips fall where they may, you know. Kind of whatever happens, happens at this point. Um, I'm too exhausted. I've been fighting with ignorance and bullshit now for the better part of 10 years. And I need to look after myself. And a large part of that's going to just be not sweating the small stuff. Where might we find dirt hiding? Somewhere. Spamming the button. That inch you. Wait. Slowly but surely finding every little piece. Go back around. Oh, I failed. Oh, shit, look at that. Oh, I missed a bunch of dirt down here. Damn. Damn, Eric. Damn. Look how much you missed, Shine. Look how much you missed. Oh, I missed a bunch. Good thing the trailer doesn't count. You're retiring from social media. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it's like I was talking about earlier when I was talking about people in their 30s kind of being the de facto go to people in society now, the decision makers. And, you know, when you hit your 40s, people stop really giving a shit about you or what you have to say. Honestly, they're just looking to young people because it's just kind of the way that we as human beings work. When you're a teenager coming up through high school and out of high school and into college, your opinion seems to be the most valuable because you're learning concepts, you're learning how society works, you're learning where we've been and where we're going as a species. You're being taught economics, you're being taught social structures, you're being taught all this stuff, and who you're going to be as a person is kind of being fundamentally shaped from the ground up. Um, and then when you get into your 20s and join the workforce, That's when you are, your 20s and your 30s are kind of peak prime opinion and drivers of society. You're behind the drivers. You're behind the steering wheel. You're in the driver's seat when you're in your late 20s and early to mid 30s. You're the one advertisers are coming after. Your opinion matters most. You're at your peak physical condition. Like, you drive society, honestly. You need to be able to get up there without falling. You're more socially active. You're more likely to go to rallies and protests and stuff at that age. You know, by the time you get to my age, tired, you're run down, but you're wiser. You understand what works and what doesn't work. You know which rallies are going to fall on deaf ears. You understand how politicians work. You understand how the system works. And at the end of the day, you've kind of made up your mind that you're going to protect your own mental health, and you're a little more reserved and a little more direct with your words and your, not activities, but like actions. You know, I don't know. Like I've said before, in my 30s, that's what I did. I read everything I could get my hands on. I listened to every political speech I could. I educated myself to the best of my ability. I kept voting my conscience. I always vote my conscience. I always vote blue. I always vote left, because that seems to be the party who's going to do the most good for the most people. It's does that mean I'm out here waving a Democrat flag and saying they're the be all end all and they do nothing wrong? No. That's like with the Epstein files. All these right wingers are coming out of the wood saying, there's Democrats in there too. Yeah, arrest them. That was the big head scratcher for me back during the Trump versus Hillary Clinton debates, and the Bernie Sanders versus Clinton, and Bernie Sanders versus Trump, and Biden versus Trump, and so on and so forth. Obama did this wrong and he did that wrong. Yeah, and he should pay. Like, you got to understand, the thing is, you need to look at when somebody's doing something right and somebody's doing something wrong. It doesn't matter what party they belong to. It doesn't matter what camp they plant their flag in. Right is right and wrong is wrong at the end of the day. Our morals in society are driven mainly by empathy and the greater good for the most people, utilitarianism. Um, and that's just not something you get on either side. But at least when you vote blue, you get as close as you can to that. You don't have Democrats out here actively voting against, you know, LGBT people and other marginalized groups, So, one of the things that I got fed up with a very long time ago was people using their religion as a scapegoat to be horrific people. That fuck shit that pisses me off. Well, the Bible says, okay, well, the Bible says you can't do stuff. It says you can't do this, that, or the other. It don't say shit about me, because to me, that is a fictitious, that's all fictitious. And I'm in America where, separation of church and state, homie. But we got to start doing this. Cabin walls. Cabin wall. I keep from falling off the damn platform. Where? Cabin wall. Which one? It's not blinking to show me which ones. gonna get down here and see. Cabin walls. So I know that one's blinking. So just that one then. Okay. Is it from this angle maybe? There we go. Deck walls, poles, window frame. Oh, yeah. Okay. I could have swore we had these poles completely washed. It is this one. Who, what, where, when, and how, son? Which angle? There we go. Ooh, we got a twofer. We got the wall and the pole. Have I ever voted blank or no? No, because voting is not like mandatory in our country. If you were just going to vote null, you just wouldn't go vote. You know what I mean? You just stay home. But I've always felt it being, I always felt that it's, I feel that it's my civic duty and my responsibility to go vote and be part of the process. That much I think we all agree on, regardless of like where you stand politically or whatever. You know, of course, I don't vote in local stuff, which kind of makes me an asshole. I really only ever go vote for the president because I honestly wasn't, I didn't receive the best education when I was younger. And again, a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was just kind of learning, not necessarily learning disabled, but learning disabled. I didn't learn well. I was not a smart child. Not by any measure. I'm not a smart adult either, but I definitely was not a smart child. So I don't understand so much of the political process. If I were to go vote in local, like if I were to go vote in city stuff, I don't know any of the people. I don't know any of the offices. If I were to vote in county, if I were to vote in state, I don't know any of that stuff. I don't know what the hell I'm voting for. I know what a mayor is. I know what a governor is, and I know who the president is. What's funny is if you were to ask me, what are the three branches of government, I wouldn't know off the top of my head. I want to say it's legislative. I can't remember. Like, that's the thing about America. Our own citizens, born and raised here, are so poorly educated, we don't know so much of our own process. Like the average person, the average blue collar Joe Smo that gets up and goes to work every day, hardly knows fucking shit. That's why the American people are so, like, it's such a cliche around the world that Americans are so ignorant. It's because it's such a complicated process, and we don't, how do I explain it? Because I'm opening Pandora's box by explaining this. More people in the United States are uneducated than are educated properly. I'm one of them. So at the end of the day, it's best just to keep your mouth shut and not talk about stuff that you don't understand. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're American too. Yeah, that bothers me at the end of the day. Like, you have North America and South America and Central America, but everybody refers to the United States specifically as America. It's like Canada's America, Mexico's America, Brazil's America, Argentina, Chile. All these countries are American countries. It's America. Um, but I guess, I should say this, the United States specifically. Fucking changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America was the stupidest fucking thing I've seen in a long goddamn time. Let me tell you. You want to talk about butt fucking stupid. I mean, in a vacuum, I understand it. It's the Americas, it's the Gulf of America. If it had come from anybody else, if it hadn't have been goddamn fucking Trump, then I probably would have said, okay, logically, that probably does make sense. But since it was his decision, I'm like, no, fuck you. And then Google just went with it. They changed it on Google Maps. Now it says Gulf of America. No, it's Gulf of Mexico, mofo. It's Gulf of Mexico. It will always be Gulf of Mexico. You can get fucked. I'm sick of your shit. Uh, Gulf of the Lassinovia. Yeah, that's what it should be. It says these window frames right here are not done. I'm not seeing any dirt. There we go. Job complete. Look at me go. Yeah, we started on the roof with this one and then worked our way down. Oy. But yeah, we'll put a pin in this or wrap this conversation up here so it doesn't spill over into the next job. I'm just tired lately. Oh well, I guess we can keep going and do the monster truck. Like I'm tired. I'm tired of politics. I'm tired of Trump and hearing his name. I'm tired of everybody's like anti-LGBTQ sentiments. I'm tired of hearing trans people get shit all over. I'm tired of hearing about ICE raids and school shootings, and I'm just so incredibly tired, you guys. I don't want to live in this filth anymore. I don't want to live in this world. And I don't mean that in a suicidal way. Like, I mean, I want things to change. I want things to get better. And I don't know if they will. I know that things are cyclical. I kind of get that time works in a circle. We'll have good times and we'll have bad times. I'm an adult. I understand that fact. But right now we're living in some bad times and some pretty rough times. And it's like, you guys, I'm so tired. What is this? Oh, it's the electrical box for the garage door. We're back in the hangar and we have the giant kitty monster truck. That is cool. It's dumb, but it's cool. It's silly is what it is. But yeah. Oh wow, look how thick the dirt is. Look how thick. Super thick. Is that a trust no one sticker? Oh, it is. Hold up. Let me get right in there. Trust. Oh, thrust. I saw the spaceship and thought it was an X-File sticker. Russ Industries, because I can read. I do got to get some reading glasses. I don't think reading glasses are going to help. But I do feel that it would be irresponsible of me and really limiting if I just came on here and never, ever, ever spoke my mind or spoke my piece. It's kind of a running conversation that Lewis and I have had with each other in private. You know, it's like I tell him, and then I come on here and I tell chat that I don't want to talk about politics anymore, or I don't want to talk about my mental health anymore, or I don't want to talk about XYZ, whatever it might happen to be. And I keep up with that for a little while, and then I always come in and break what I said, and I end up doing it anyway. Um, so I think we're just gonna kind of let it be natural going forward. I think, you know, if I feel compelled to speak on something, then I'll speak on it. But I'm gonna try and make sure it's not an every episode thing, you know. But I just felt like I should be honest with you guys and tell you how tired I am lately. Um, like I'm mentally exhausted from all this stuff. I want a good long break from it, but life is life, you know? So it's like you can't really just get out of reality, you know? I mean, some people do. Some people get into drugs and alcohol and stuff, but that stuff isn't for me. So I'm forced to hear about it every day. And the thing is, I'm just going to have to get over it, honestly, at the end of the day, because here's the thing. Unless you truly live under a rock, you're going to hear about it. You're going to hear about it even if you're in public. You're going to overhear people talking about it if you go to the market to get groceries. It's no matter how much you bend over backwards to get away from like politics and world news and whatever, it's going to find a way to creep its way into your life. There's not really anything you can do to stop it. And even the attempts I've made to like curate, very carefully curate my social media so that I don't see that stuff every day, you're not going to avoid it 100%. You're not. It's inevitable. But again, I'm not going to let it ruin my life. I'm not going to let it rule my life. I've made a lot of progress with my mental health, and I'm in a really good place, and they're not going to take that from me. They're not going to take it. No, they're not going to take it. They're not going to take it from anyone. Do 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 do. Wee. Hello, Mr. Kitty Cat. It's Mr. Kitty Cat. Be careful, Mr. Kitty. I have learned to appreciate kitty cats more. I've always been a dog person. I've never hated cats. I love cats. Cats are awesome. But I like dogs more. But cats have grown on me in the past few years, especially since we have a cat now. We have a kitty cat of our very own. Damn, these tires are huge. Yeah. I think I think we'll do something special for the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. I don't know what that's going to be, but we'll figure it out when we get there. 30 years. 30 whole years. Goddamn. Really with this? Oh my god. Oh my god. It's going to be a hard job. Wow, like how am I supposed to get all that? That is wacko. Wackadoo. Wacky whack 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 wacka. I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do in Pokemon Go for the big 30th anniversary, because here's the thing. Not only is it the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, it's the 10th anniversary of Pokemon Go. Kind of hoping they do something fun. Of course, it's Niantic, so I expect them to fumble the ball in every way humanly possible, because they are the worst. They do suck. Something awful. Hey. Hey ho ho ha hoo hoo. Oh, I forgot to get this underbelly part here. Okay. Ooh. We should have just put you completely underwater. We should have just submerged this entire truck underwater. Because damn. Damn. Jeebus, man. This is a little intimidating, this job. Mega Mewtwo, please. Well, we already have Mega Mewtwo. We have two Mega Mewtwo's. Unless you mean Mega Mewtwo Z. What do you mean, no? Yeah, they put Mega Mewtwo in Pokemon Go already. Didn't they? Have they not? Have they not added Mega Mewtwo to Pokemon Go? Am I crazy? You know what? I don't think they have. I think you're right. I don't think they have. Like I said, fumble the ball. It wouldn't be Niantic. It wouldn't be Niantic. We don't have. Okay, well, there you go. They probably will. Do do the 895th Kanto event since Pokemon Go started. They love doing Kanto events, which don't get me wrong, I love those, but it's a meme at this point. It's a complete meme. Damn these tires. This is an ADHD nightmare of like cleaning one spot, then immediately moving to another spot, but on crack. Am I even going to be able to get these metal pieces clean? I'm sitting here blasting them and they're not pinging. My God. This is a nightmare. I'm having a little bit of paralysis with this. Like, I don't know where to go or what to clean. It's such. Oh my God. I don't like this. I do not like this. I don't like it. I don't like it. I bet this takes longer than any other job. Oh, the nightmare when we reach 99% of finding that one tiny little speck of dirt underneath. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was nice. Yeah, I said we were going to focus all week on Majora's Mask and then completely went back on that. But it's because I've had a hell of a week, you guys. It's not been an easy week for me. It's been rough. I've been fighting with my sleep schedule. I've been staying up too late reading and not getting to bed at appropriate times. And then I've dealt with all this stress of social media, and it's been a rough week. It's been a rough one indeed. Now I'm sitting here washing a cat's asshole. Are we still talking about the damn mayor's cat? That sucker ran away. Is the mayor going to be a cat? Maybe the mayor's just a cat. In Power Wash Simulator 2, I wonder if the cat's the main focal point again. Or if it's something completely different. You get used to all this pinging. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's going to be a whole thing. I'll worry about that in a moment. There are days though where I kind of think to myself, could I go back to like the ignorant bliss of childhood when I didn't know anything about politics, when I didn't know anything about the adult world? All I really knew was video games and waiting for, like, I was just talking to Tyler about that the other day. I was like, we spent a good bit of our youth waiting, going from video game release to video game release, kind of just waiting on that. You know what I mean? And as an adult, I'm kind of considering regressing back into that state. I think it would really, it might not be the best thing, but, and keep in mind, this is not an issue of like being able to handle society, like, oh, you just can't handle the real world. Blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. This is not normal. Like, everything that's happening is not normal. This is not just a case of, oh, well, he couldn't handle the real world or real life. No, 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 no. You don't get it twisted. This is everything that's been happening for the last 10 years has been a complete and utter fucking nightmare. That's not normal. Not normal whatsoever. Isn't that right, Mr. Gnome? Hey. So, I mean, I am considering just kind of going back to only focusing on media and just ignoring everything that's happening out there in the real world. I don't want to do that, but I feel like I've given it enough energy and time. I'm kind of hoping that it'll all just buff out if I give it enough time. We haven't even talked about the Epstein stuff. It makes my stomach hurt. That's one of the reasons we have talked about it. Number two, I don't know how YouTube's going to take it if we have that conversation. We won't have that conversation today, but we are going to have that conversation, guys. We're going to have to talk about all the fucking terrible human beings. At some point, we are going to have that conversation. You know what? Get in there and get it clean. There we go. This might be the best tool for this job. How am I going to do this? How am I going to get every tiny speck up in here? How am I going to do this? No. Stop it. This has been the most frustrating job ever. Can I stand up just a little bit? No. Okay. Get. Hmm. Jesus. How do I not have this whole tire? Ow. Ooh, hold up. I just saw some dirt that I did not see before. Because it's wedged in between the tire and the thing. It's hiding in there pretty well. Might actually need the little step stool for this. Yep, I think I'm going to need the little step stool. We've never even really needed this thing before. We've used it, but we've not needed it. Why can't I grab it? There we go. Guess I needed it in at every spot. Oh, shit, I forgot about this tire. All right, let me get you. Sit still. I think that might cover the complete. Oh my god. Outside part, I think we've completely covered. I think. Ping, bitch. Know you're clean. I see no dirt. You're gonna be a fucking asshole. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be the underbelly. Oh damn it! Oh, we made it to 99%, folks. Now let me pull my hair out because that 1% is going to be all the fuck shit underneath it, isn't it? The thing is, I don't know how they realistically expect you to get some of this stuff. Up my voice. There goes my voice. How do I reach some of this stuff? It's insanity. Complete and utter insanity, I tell you. There you are. Hey, I did a damn fine job considering. Ooh. Ooh, ah. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. My eye. Uh, uh. How am I supposed to reach that? God damn it. Okay. Oh, this is a tight spot. This is a tight spot to be in, fellers. Fellers. Well, I don't see any more dirt. Except for right the fuck back there. Top hatch, steps, side. Oh, really? A lot of stuff up top, huh? Side hatch handles. Oh, the damn. Never thought in a million years. Steps. When they hold up, the steps are clean. My steps are clean. I pay my bill. My bills are paid. Nobody's gonna know what the fuck that reference is. But to the one person who did, hot hatch. I didn't even know it was. I didn't pay attention to there being a hatch up here. Not bad for an hour and a half. 2 jobs down. The cat monster truck. It was fun. This is a fun one. Oh no! Oh, do I have to? Do I have to? Uh, uh, we'll do the train when we come back in next time. Because I'm not ready to do that Ferris wheel yet. That's too big a job. That's too big an ask. The jobs are just getting bigger. Oh. All right. Well, I hope today's episode wasn't too polarizing for you guys. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. You know, talking about Facebook and politics and stuff. I definitely think it's time for me to settle into my old man era. And messages. Yeah, I think it's time for me to settle into my happy era of me just living my best life, doing my own thing, minding my own business, focusing on this. And I am planning on doing something for, to answer your question earlier. We're going to do something for Pokemon's 30th. I haven't the faintest idea what that's going to be yet. Just bear with me.